What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you for joining me here at my YouTube channel. Right now, I want to talk about the new Netflix series, Free Bert. But before I do that, I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and help me get there. The YouTube channel is something that I've always just kind of done as a hobby. I've done for fun. I do have a goal this year of reaching 3,000 watch hours and getting 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,905. If you could hit that subscribe button and help me out, I'd really appreciate it. All right, Free Bert. Free Bert was 8 episodes. Each episode was around a half hour long of Bert Kreischer. He moves his family into this. He's a stand-up comic. He's kind of playing a fictionalized version of himself. And he moves his family into this snooty neighborhood where he really wants to fit in. He wants to fit in for himself, but he also wants to fit in for his kids, his 2 daughters. And at first, it's a really rocky road. He takes some experiences that he has living in this community and he talks about them in his stand-up act, and he ends up insulting some people in the community. And he thought that it was a great act, but a lot of people didn't take it too kindly. He ends up, after a meeting with the school's guidance counselor, he ends up changing his look, changing his demeanor to try to fit in with these people. And he's initially very successful, and he makes friends with some people that initially he had conflict with. And as he becomes friends with these people, he learns that, boy, these are not the best people in the world. In fact, some of them are bad people. And how he navigates what he thinks is the right thing versus fitting in is really the crux of this series. There were some funny moments. There were some moments that made me laugh. There were some moments that brought me joy. But it was, in some ways, it was difficult to watch because you see this man who is not being true to himself. He's not living up to who he is. And he just keeps on making mistake after mistake after mistake, which that's fine. He's the protagonist and he's supposed, we're supposed to go on this journey with him. But the people that he's trying to be friends with, they're just not likable people at all. Even one of the fathers he's trying to be friends with, who we're supposed to sympathize with a little bit because he does have a son who's going through a procedure, even he is an unlikable guy. So a lot of the people who we are supposed to like, we don't like, and a lot of the people that we're supposed to not like, we just don't want to spend any more time with. Bert's wife gets into a situation with one of the guy's wives where she ends up lying, ends up getting caught in this web of lies involving some baked goods. And it's not interesting, and in some ways it makes his wife unlikable. So it's difficult to really invest into a show like this. It's supposed to be very funny and lighthearted when most of the cast of characters are people that you just really don't like. Even his kids in some ways are very endearing and very fun to spend time with, but even they say and do things that just make them a little unlikable. So I had fun with this series. I'm interested. It sets up for a season 2, and I'm very interested in seeing where they go next. And like I said, there were moments that were funny. There were moments that I enjoyed, and overall, I would go slightly positive on this. But there was also a lot of things in the series that bothered me. And I'd like to see that change in the next season. I'd like to see Bert be more likable. I'd like to see this dad who we're supposed to like, and at the end of this series, he kind of has a revelation. I'd like to see him be more likable. And yeah, let's keep the bad guys, but create a dynamic where we can root for our protagonist because he's not trying to win the favor of the bad guys. So that's kind of my take on Free Bert. Very complex. I have very complex feelings towards it. A lot of it I really liked, and a lot of it I was just like, this isn't enjoyable. So, like I said, slightly positive, but I think the makings is there for a fun show that could be a really good time. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with season 2. So that's my take on Free Bert. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, Make sure you subscribe to my channel, help me get to 2,000, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.